Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Welcome to Finnegan's.
Welcome. Cheers.
Hey, cheers.
Hey.
Cheers.
Love that.
Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully we've got some of our regulars in tonight, but I want to tell you straight away, Allan's away. He's left us the keys to the bar. He's in a different country.
Yeah, and you got me on.
I tell you straight away. And we've got Mikey on, our special guest.
Yeah,
our special guest co-host. So
yeah,
Mikey,
Allan's slightly less attractive, slightly less funny version. It's like it's like if you went to Wednesday night at Finnegan's, except for like the little version.
Yeah, or Aldi, Aldi.
Yeah.
It's still quality. Yeah, but you can tell it's a knockoff.
Yeah, or like Netto, if you remember Netto.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
We didn't have Netto down south. Just Marks and Spencer's.
It's because you're all Tories down there.
Oh, it started. It's already started.
I've gone fishing already.
I mean, it was last week, I think, that Allan incited violence when he said that people should punch me in the street if they see me. And I just thought, wow.
I won't lie, I was a bit shocked at that, Allan.
But Allan is now on holiday. He's away. And so here we are. We're in Finnegan's. Let's see who's in for the evening. Let's have a look. Okay, so actually, fantastic. I think these could be our furthest people out because the Finnegans and the Bywaters are watching. So
all the way from Turkey.
All the way from Turkey. And so Allan is watching, so we've got to be on our best behaviour.
Oh,
so
yes.
We'll be careful. Let's have a look. Tal's in. Evening, Tal. Sam, Samuel Dunn. Sam, great to have you watching, evening, mate. Sam. Thanks for joining us. Hang on a second.
Oh,
Laura's watching. Laura, Mrs. Mikey Ferguson is in tonight, and
I'm being stalked by this person. I get followed everywhere by this person, and I think it's because they fancy me or something.
I think not anymore. Now that you've got 3 kids, that's over and done with. And so, evening, Laura. Yeah. It's great, and I've been told that we should have Laura on the podcast. So I think I would love to have you on,
I won't
Laura.
say it too loud, but I think she's pretty funny. She'd be a good guest. But don't tell her I said that.
Your exact words, and you'll get points for this, as Mikey told me before the podcast start that Laura's actually funnier than he is.
Totally not true. Didn't say that.
He's not admitting it now, though. Let's have a look. We've got Rachel Hall in. We've got Anne Gerard. Good evening.
And by the way, Anne Gerard.
Yep.
Is from my church at St. Anne's.
Yes.
And so hello, Anne. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I won't say this too loud either, but Anne is genuinely one of the most lovely people I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. So it's boss to have you there, Anne.
That's lovely.
Welcome to Finnegan's.
Welcome
Cheers.
to Finnegan's. Cheers, Anne. Anne, tell us what he's really like, okay? No holds bars. Just put it in the. This is a safe place. Just put it in the comments what you really think. That could go wrong.
To be fair, the banter me and Anne have is pretty ruthless. Okay. So I could get torn apart here.
Okay, very good, very good. Joyce is watching. Debbie's in. We've got lots in tonight. It's great to have you. Laura's saying dad bod.
I am rocking the dad bod these days.
That's very good, very good. Brilliant. It's lovely to have you all in. Janet's in as well. Nice to see you, Janet. And we're going to have a good night tonight. We've got lots of different things planned. And just at the start of Finnegan's, if you're watching and you're enjoying, you're becoming one of our regulars, then I'd encourage you just to give us a little share tonight on Facebook if you're watching, or on YouTube, subscribe and click the bell thing. Then whenever we put a video up, you're going to see it. But give us a little share tonight and then just let us know in the comments that you've done it.
I've got to say, I've been here watching Tom set up. I think, without, I'm not even pulling his leg here. Like, him and Allan do a great job, and it costs you nothing to tune in. So if you could give it a little like and a little share, that just helps, helps us do the rounds and help us reach as many people as possible.
That would be ace.
That'd be ace.
That would be fantastic. And we worked out today. Do you know? I thought Allan was always the one holding us back on the technology, but he's not here this week and it's been a nightmare. I didn't realise that secretly he was the one who kept on top of all of this and made it tick.
Our video today was we had a mare, didn't we?
We had we were trying to do like a little promo video, and often when Allan does these kind of things, I feel like I'm his grandson. Like,
you reminded me of my nan when I try and WhatsApp her, and she's got it up here going, son, are you there? And it was just you and your head, all up in.
Is larger than normal size. I noticed Mikey's head is smaller than Alan's, so it's accentuating my head even more. Which I have to lean back a bit further tonight. But the camera was just rotating around like that, and I felt like an old person. So Alan,
definitely had a boomer moment.
Yeah, that wasn't fun. I think your sister's in, Mikey.
Oh, Becca Perez Ferguson.
Yeah. Where's she watching from? Where's Becca watching from tonight?
Oh, Becca's watching from Prague. Basically, I've got a confession.
Go on.
I've got a confession.
Straight off.
So, Becca's getting married in the summer, by the way. Mm-hmm. Congrats, Becca.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
I told Becca that I would help her plan her wedding tonight. But I double booked myself.
Oh, no.
So, I'm sorry, Becca. I love you.
Do you know what?
But your wedding isn't as important as this.
Right, well, so you've really nailed your priorities there. But I say let's do it. Let's do it via podcasts. We can. Everyone else, you just you sit tight, and we can plan the thing. I mean, what are you responsible for? Like picking the wedding dress and key bits of information.
Yeah,
like
I'm in charge of hair and makeup. Yeah,
fantastic.
No, I actually get the honour of walking Becca down the aisle. My parents live in China.
Wow.
So yeah, my mum's just got a new job as a head teacher over there. So wow. props to me Julie.
Her name is Julie.
My mum's called Julie. I don't just randomly call me mum me Julie.
Very good. And so Mikey, why don't we got to know you were guest of a week a few weeks ago, and you ended up on the wall.
Get him on the wall.
We're well chuffed with that. He's on the wall, and so we thought we'd have you back. But why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, mate? A little bit about life, and that would
brilliant.
So people get to know you a bit.
Yeah. So I'm Mikey. I'm a Church of England priest, and I do that for my day job. I'm married to the inimitable Laura Ferguson, who pops up in the chat every so often, saying something. Pretty funny, no doubt.
She's got a good sense of humour.
Yeah, she does. And we've got 3 kids together, and so our youngest is called George, mm-hmm. and he's actually named after my late granddad. So nice. Also, quite a significant name there. And Allan, who's he's in Turkey. He actually did the funeral for my granddad. So there's that like little Emmanuel connection. And then, speaking of Emmanuel connections, our middle child, she's called Eleanor, and she's actually directly named after Eleanor of the awesome duo, which is Eleanor and Valerie.
Anyone from Emmanuel know Eleanor and Valerie, legends of the church?
Absolutely incredible human beings. And actually, you know what? Nell went pretty viral.
Did she?
During lockdown. Yeah,
we've got a video of this, haven't we?
We do. And so what happened was, this is wholesome content, by the way.
You're going to love
Finnegan's. This is the cutest content you'll ever see. And obviously I'm a bit biased because I'm a dad, but it's literally just a dad gushing and being proud over his daughter. He's got no shame singing in the streets. This
is lockdown. Lockdown, isn't it? Oh. Cool. She's nailing the high notes there, isn't she?
She's brilliant.
She's out of your 3. I think she's the one who's gonna look after you in your old age. I think.
Yeah,
that's the vibe I'm getting straight away.
She's gonna be on that paper.
Yeah,
and so that so we were on like our 1 permitted walk a day.
Yeah,
that we were allowed in lockdown. And I just posted it on Twitter, and I got about 1.4 million views.
Wow!
And 70,000 likes, so that was a bit nuts.
That's cool.
So yeah, there's George, who's named after me granddad.
Yep.
There's Eleanor, or Nell, who's named after,
Eleanor and Valerie.
Eleanor and Valerie. And then our eldest is called Ray, and she's named that because I really like the Star Wars character, Ray.
You really like Star Wars?
Yeah. She's not named after Ray in the chat.
So you did it backwards. I would have thought you would have had like really significant names for 1 and 2, and then by the time you hit 3, you're like.
Yeah, but that was the time that Star Wars was out when we had Ray.
So I would have just loved for number 2 to be Jar Jar Binks. Number 3.
Me see your daughter.
Mikey is impersonations all over the place, like in a good way.
I'm sure we'll bust some out.
So we'll pull some out tonight.
Yeah.
Can I just ask you though, Mikey, because I've got 3 children, and I feel like I'm a little bit further down the road to you. But how are you finding? Because mine are a bit older, aren't they? But how are you finding 3 kids? And I assume, Laura, that he's a very engaged dad, and he does most of the early mornings and that kind of thing.
Yeah, totally. Laura doesn't lift a finger, which is not true. No, Laura's amazing with them. I think it's hard, but it's quite rewarding. It's kind of like, your soul gets beaten out of you on a daily basis.
What, having kids?
Yeah. Like everyone says, oh, it's so rewarding, but I'm just permanently knackered.
Yeah.
My life's a blur.
And I wish I could. I mean, my kids are probably watching this because they got to that age now where they watch me.
So
they remember things. They remember now. Yeah. So they remember. So if I do something, when they're younger, you feel like if you do something like sort of traumatizing by accident, that they're not going to remember it. Like I remember Elijah when he was young, he had one of these balance bikes, all the rage, teach him how to ride and all that. And we were at the top of a hill and he just said to me, Dad, can I go down the hill? And he looked up at me and
sounds like a perfectly sensible idea.
And he was checking, Dad, is this a safe thing to do? I looked at the hill and something within me was just kind of intrigued to see what would happen if he did do it. And so I just remember I couldn't bring myself to say yes, but I just nodded. Yeah. And I'm like, let's see. Yeah, and he went, but balance bikes do not have any brakes. And so I suddenly realised 10 metres down this hill that he was going crazy fast and he wasn't stopping. So I sprinted after him and I was running past people just saying, what an irresponsible father, like in the open. Just like,
what you should have done is recorded it and put it on Twitter and got loads of likes.
I think I'd have got over 2 million probably.
So while your kids are all watching then, which one's your favourite?
They know. Basically, the kids know. How about you? Who would you go for favourite?
What a terrible question.
No, I think that Ray's the only one who could probably. This is going on the internet forever, though. Let's move on. Let's move on. But
traumatise our kids again in different ways.
But I think what I said to Mikey earlier was that there was a point where I think when you're at your point, you're not getting 8 hours sleep. You're probably not getting way less than that. And I always thought that at some point in the future, once I'm getting 8 hours again, I'm going to feel like a human being again. But I've realised that something is very badly broken within me now, and it's never coming back.
You're just permanently destroyed now.
I'm permanently tired. So very good. We've got lots of people in, lots of comments, and here we go. Hi, Dad, from Hope. So Hope is watching. Lovely to have you watching. Oh, and hang on, she's put me from Hope. So
she knows.
She knows.
You've not said it. She knows.
And Laura said balance bikes have no brakes. Duly noted. So it's good. It's good. I never thought this podcast would be parenting advice, but
we are the last people to give parenting advice. To be fair, don't follow any parenting advice I give.
And Tao's saying my children were named from people on Hollyoaks. Is that true, Tao? I don't know Hollyoaks.
Did they come out the womb and it just went down, 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 down?
Maybe.
That's how they got the name.
I don't want to think about that. Okay. Very good. Very good. Well, even though Allan's not here, the man himself is not here, we do have a little video of Allan. So let's go over to Allan and see how he's doing on his holidays.
Hello everyone. So I'm on my holidays with Mrs F. We're having a great time. Sun's shining. It's fab. It's fab. Loving it. I've given the keys to Tom Brown, who's going to hold the fort for tonight. And my only advice today would be, please don't rob me house.
We can't promise anything, can we? We cannot promise anything about that.
Well, I'm already taking home something already from his house.
Yes. He's found the fantasy football trophy.
This is going straight.
If you haven't been in Finnegan's before, there's a fantasy league at our church, and Mikey, he destroyed the competition.
Even close.
I came
and
second,
so
but it wasn't even a thing. I was so far behind Mikey. And you know, Mikey takes this really seriously because he came to my house for dinner before the podcast. And at one point I looked over and my son, Elijah, also plays in the fantasy team, but he is 11 and he's doing his best. Mm-hmm. I looked over and Mikey had his phone with the league table on it, just reminding Elijah where he finished in the league in comparison to him.
Yeah, but like the thing is, your 11-year-old son had just beat me in FIFA.
Okay.
So I had to put him back in his place. To be fair.
Which you did, yeah, to be fair. Yeah. And so Mikey's going to take that trophy home. And I wanted to show you some of the... if you follow Allan on social media, you're going to, over the coming days, see his holiday snaps. And Allan only takes one type of holiday snap. You're going to see them on his social media. And I've got basically his holiday snaps from his last holiday. So here you go. This is
parental discretion is advised.
So this is day one, Allan on holiday, and so he's hanging out in the shade a little bit there.
I'm so glad that they're in the shade, because if they were in the sun, you'd need sunglasses.
Now look at this. What I want to point out is that Allan has a different pair of trunks for every day. So this is day 3. He's gone for the navy blue there to match the pool. Looking nice. Let's see what day 4 holds. So look, the stars on the trunk. Look at that. What sort of man has different trunks for every day of the holiday? I don't get this. And look at this. These are going a bit tighter, these trunks. I don't think they are
significantly tighter.
I don't know what he's doing there. But what I want you to know, these ones, we can't see any trunks. So I'm thinking Speedos, possibly, at that point.
So I'm glad they're not further up then.
And look here, another he's going for a swim.
Taking a dip in the pool.
You check this next one.
Oh,
romance!
It's a bit of footsie going on there,
and I hope that's Joyce. Show. I hope that is Joyce Allan. And then finally, this is last day of holiday when he's going home, and no feet to be seen. So keep an eye out on social media for Allan's holiday snaps.
Oh yes, definitely they are traditional.
What's this? We've decided. Allan said you can have something over here, Mikey, hasn't he?
Yeah. You know what? To be honest, this is the first time I've ever said something, and it's ended up on a mug. So if you've been following Wednesday Nights at Finnegan's now, you'll probably know the phrase, if you say nougat, you're a Tory. And
there it is.
I'm proud to say, I coined that phrase because Tom and Allan were having the debate in their office, and I just sent Allan a voice note, didn't even think too much about it, just said, if you say nougat, you're a Tory. And it's true.
So you know what, I get heckled regularly now about my everyday in the street, just people calling me a Tory. And I don't know if you are in the northwest, you know that's not safe. That's not a thing that's okay.
Well, you know what the solution is though.
Go on.
You just say nugget.
It's just not right though, is it? Someone sent me a video today. Mark sent me a video from Stranger Things, and it was one of the characters saying nougat or nugget, whatever, but it was nougat. And so it was siding with me, I felt.
Well, you are a Stranger Thing, to be fair.
So anyway, keep an eye. I mean, don't call me a Tory. I'm not a Tory.
You can call him a Stranger Thing, though.
You can call me a stranger. I've been called that before. And hang on a second here. Barbara's in. I say nougat, and I'm a Tory.
Wow. You said that out loud on the internet for other people to read.
Barbara. Oh, look at this. Debbie's saying, I'm looking at getting my own mug with a nugget on it.
That's brilliant.
That would be ace, wouldn't it?
That way you could drink your tea and put people in their place.
Very good.
Glorious.
You could have a picture of me or something on there as well, couldn't you? That'd be ace. Very good. Very good. Okay, Mikey, let me know. I thought we'd talk to you a little bit about your weekly routine, what you're up to, what you get about. If you don't know Mikey's job, Mikey is...
I'm a Church of England priest. And
very good.
There's never a dull moment, really, to be honest. You're a minister yourself, and you know that you've got to run round after all kinds of stuff. But one of the things that I do as a Church of England priest is funerals. And I was doing a funeral this week, and so before I tell this story, I've had my little white Skoda for about 6 years now, and when we bought it, the person who sold it to us said it didn't have Bluetooth on it. So I've been driving up and down the country, going from Liverpool to Plymouth, where the in-laws live, and then back, and all the time without any Bluetooth in the car. I've had to listen to the radio like a peasant, And,
what has it got? Anything though? What has it got?
Well, it had like a dodgy aux cable, and then
I hate those where the jacks always go.
And then it did have a CD player, and so we had to buy some CDs. But then when Ray was 2, she put a 5p piece in the CD player, just totally ruined it.
Kids,
and so anyway, I was leading this funeral, and I was obviously in all my garb. I wear a cassock, a surplice, and a big stole. And one of the things that
that's like a dress, hey. Basically, that's a dress.
I do say I go and get me dress on, and I love you, Anne, by the way. Saw that.
I'm sorry, I snuck that up there, but I'm going to make a point. Look at that. Anne said he never stops. He's always he's always there for us. What a guy.
She's an absolute
Anne,
love.
thank you.
And so I was doing this funeral, and what you do is you have the service at the church, and then you have a service at the crematorium. And as the minister, it's kind of like the weirdest Mario Kart ever, because you have to race the hearse from the church to the crematorium, so you're ready to receive people.
So you've done the bit of the church, and then you've got to be the first
you
one
got to leg it out the
creme.
door, and you got to welcome people at the creme to do that bit. And so anyway, I get in my car, and I'm bundling over all my robes, and I whack, and as I close the door, I trap all my robes in the door, which isn't a great look.
No.
And so I open the door, I pull over all my robes that had fallen out the side of the car, and as I pull them over, my elbow whacks the steering wheel and one of the side indicators, and my phone and the car just went searching for devices. And I just went, what have I just done? So also I was just finishing using my phone to play some of the music for going in and out of the funeral, and then suddenly I'm trying to get away from the church with the hearse just behind me, and my car suddenly starts blasting "It's time to say goodbye." So I'm trying to rush off, my car's blasting this song, and everyone's just looking at me like, you really just got in your car and started blasting your music on the way to the car. So
there goes the man who's in charge.
Yeah, I know, right?
Allan does a great little bit in his comedy set where he talks about a funeral, and he's
and Rihanna comes on.
Rihanna comes on. Yeah, stand there and watch me burn.
Little chip off the old Allan's block. I think.
Very good, mate. It's so good to have you this week, and we've also got our guest of the week.
Yes,
and we're going to come over to him now.
He's an absolute legend.
He is a legend, and mate. We're so pleased you could be here. It's Pete. Let's give him a round of applause, everyone.
Smullen.
Good evening, everyone.
The man, the legend. How are you feeling being here tonight, Pete?
First ever time doing a live podcast, so this could go wrong, couldn't it?
We are telling it. We're making a point to say to Pete, this is live. There's no you can't go back and do it again. So
I've known Pete for a good while. Like we used to go to church together at Emmanuel back in the day, and we also ended up working at a children's charity in Bootle for a little while. Shout out Y Kids and any Y Kidders as well. So this is not the first time me and Pete have made a fool of ourselves.
It probably won't be the last, to be fair.
Mate, it's so good to have you with us, and we were going to have my mate Sam over from The Message, and Sam let us know yesterday, bless him, that he was in London, so he just wasn't going to make it back. But Pete has stepped in.
So we've really had to scrape the bottom of the barrel.
Pete, you weren't the first choice, mate, but you are. I'm so pleased to have you tonight at Finnegan's, mate, and he's got some good stuff for us tonight. We're going to have a little chat, and then we're going to see later on if he's going to end up on the wall.
He's got a spicy one.
He's got a good story to tell. We've had a little sneak preview, and it is good, but we can't. Do you know what I mean? It could be wall-worthy. It
could go anywhere.
It might not. And so we'll see. Are you feeling nervous about that, Pete, or are you feeling okay?
Yeah, because everyone else has got on the wall or was on the wall and then got starred, and then it's my turn. I'm thinking, if I don't get on the wall, I'll never come back, will I?
Yeah.
You literally...
There's a lot of pressure on you tonight, Pete. And I've got to say that, you could be the first, and maybe even only...
person
to not get...
To get barred from Finnegan's.
You know whose opinion I want about this?
Who?
I want Jurgen Klopp's opinion. Jurgen, can I ask you some questions? Obviously, you're not my favourite person, but you've been in here with Pete for a couple of hours now. What is it? What do you think of him?
I don't know.
What I can say to describe this was boom.
Boom. Oh, he's a bit of a boom.
Boom. I think that's positive feedback.
Yeah.
For Pete, I think that'll be.
While I'm here, Jurgen, did you know that like less than 10% of the British population have asthma? Can I ask you why over 70% of Liverpool players have asthma?
I really don't like this.
Right, a way to avoid the question, lad.
Oh,
we all know he's juicing his players.
I said what I said. Do with it what you want.
Oh,
do you know what?
Spicy from Jurgen.
What Mikey told me he was going to bring with him an Everton scarf and dangle it around Jurgen's neck, and I had to draw the line and say you can't do that. I think I don't know how Allan would respond to that, but
I think Allan would be turning over in Turkey. He'd be running back over the water, wouldn't he?
I said nougat rather than nugget, and Allan invited people to beat me in the street. So I can only imagine what would happen if you threw an Everton scarf.
We
on
don't
Jurgen's
incite
neck.
violence here on this podcast.
We can't condone it. So let's have a little chat to Pete anyway. Pete,
yes,
mate,
Pete.
Tell us. I thought I'd ask you tonight. You've been coming to Emmanuel for quite a while, but maybe you could just tell people how you first started coming to the church, and I know you would call yourself a Christian and a person of faith, and so maybe let people know how that kind of happened.
Yeah, so I've been coming to Emmanuel for nearly 15 years. So that means I've known Mikey for 15 years. Unfortunately for me, not really joking, Mikey.
Straight in there.
So my experience with faith has always been a little bit up and down. I lost my nan and when I was younger, and I turned me back on Christ, and went to university and stuff like that, and then I came back. And basically, my godmother, who is Lynn Green, she was
legend.
Yeah, she's a amazing lady. Lynn and Roger, shout out to you. You might be watching, I don't know. But yeah, Lynn was going to church, and I just said, something in me just said, can I come with you? And I sat at the back of the church, and it was a Sunday, and Ian Doddridge, again another Emmanuel legend, he was taking the youth to a thing called a late night service in Liverpool City Centre in Kensington. And I just felt like something saying, ask if you can go. So I went, and I just remember sitting in this late night service and something speaking to me, and I was thinking, this is a bit weird. Like, what's this voice in my head? And then I realised it was God, and then I've been going to church ever since. I met my now wife, Jess, 12 years ago. Brilliant. Shout out to Jess, I think she is watching. I think she's watching.
And also Caleb says hi, Daddy, as well.
Yeah, so we've got to give Caleb a little shout out, because I know he gets pretty violent himself if we don't let him know.
He's noticed. He's a good lad. He's a good lad, and his favourite person's Allan. Because if you check the comments, he did say, shout out to my friend Allan.
His favourite person is Allan.
Yeah, Allan's his best.
Do you know what? I can't believe that, Caleb. I am furious. Do you know what? I do the kids' story at church, and I hand out sweets to the kids. But that's it. Caleb's not getting a thing from me now. And also, isn't he lactose intolerant?
Yeah, so Tom has to get Caleb Haribo, so he feels included.
So I even get Caleb's special sweets. That's the end of that now, mate. That's it.
Yeah.
It's done.
Tom, I'm sure you're someone's favourite person. Somewhere.
I mean, my kids are watching. I don't think they would say that. But anyway, very good. So, mate, that's amazing, isn't it? You're talking about coming to church and kind of having, I love the honesty, saying like that up and down like thing with faith, and that for me super honest. And some Christians I think can be like, like it's just one mountaintop to the next, you know, and it's just like you become a Christian.
It's a
everything's
load
perfect.
of rubbish, isn't it? Like I'm a Christian minister myself, and like my faith goes up and down like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Like on a weekly basis, and you know, and that's all part of it. It's part of the journey, isn't it? Like, you know, we definitely don't have all the answers, but like that's one of the best things for me about being a Christian is you get to be part of a community. You're just like, look, we get it wrong all the time. We just get to figure this out together. And I just think that's boss. I just think that's really powerful.
It is. And hang on a second.
Oh, here we go.
Jess says he calls Tom his second best friend. I mean, Mikey would agree with this on the fantasy football, but second place is still a loser, isn't it, Mikey?
You don't get anything for second, do you? There's nothing for second.
No
prizes for second.
Hope has said you're my favourite person, Dad, from Hope, which I wonder how Emma's feeling about that now.
Can you just say in the chat, did you type that in front of your mum, or did you have to like sneak off to go and type that?
That's it.
Because that's brave.
You're probably going to bed right now, Hope, if that's the case.
With no supper.
So, Pete, like, tell us a little bit then, like, I know for you, because we've chatted a little bit, that your faith makes a difference. Mm-hmm. It's not just about Sundays. You know, your faith does make a difference to your life, but you're not like me and Allan and Mikey, like you're not a minister in that sense, but that
he lives in the real world.
He lives in the real world.
we live in dreamland, don't we?
He does a real job. He works more than one day a week. He's a legend.
Yeah, we only work on a Sunday. That's true.
And so, Pete, tell us how your faith kind of affects your life, like your everyday, your job, and all that kind of thing, mate. So just tell us a little bit about that.
I just think it's like I just like lead by like example and try and just show people what I feel God is, and for me, God's fun. It at the forefront of it all is God is fun. So people will like Kyle, who's watching. Kyle is my mate off TikTok. I do TikTok.
Nice.
I obviously
Kyle.
Yeah, hi Kyle. I think Chantel's watching as well. Is Chantel one of your friends?
Yeah, Chantel and Kyle are my friends off TikTok. And I do TikToks, so I do TikToks with Caleb, I've done TikToks with Noah. I just like having fun in work. I'm a fun person. I'm a trade unionist. I believe that God puts you in places not to just be a wallflower, not to just sit there, but to actually try and make a difference and shine by example. And you know, when people are going through tough times, you know, like I said about my union work, I'm there to support people and there to look after them. And you know, the journey with Jesus is a up and down roller coaster, but I'm not one of these who's like, you know, oh, I've got it sorted, because no one's got it sorted. That's why, as far as I'm concerned, that's why Jesus died for us, do you know what I mean? But I think like it's about having fun, it's about being real, and it's about showing like that realness of God. And I hope that does come across and stuff in both church life, work life, and just in social life in general.
Mate, I love it. So good.
Like, and I've just got to like echo that, like, and you know, Pete's not just making that up. Like, I used to work with Pete maybe about like about eight years ago now. And some of the best moments for working for White Kids was just when Pete just like let all his inhibitions go. He's just like dancing in front of the kid. Like, Pete hasn't changed. that like, and you know, I only say this to quite a few select people, but you know, sometimes I reckon the phrase gets thrown about a bit too often. You know, you say to people, "Oh, never change, lad," or "Never change, Pete. Never change, mate." Because honestly, like that joy that you give and that spark and that like bit of pizzazz and thirst for life, mate, it just comes right through. And it's something that I've never forgotten from our time at White Kids. Just the energy you bring to everything. Like that's what you do, man.
It's so, and I think particularly for me, like, getting to know you, Pete, is that thing that you're talking about, fun and that joy, you know, and also knowing that life's not easy for you by any means. Like, you've got stuff going on, and you know, you go through tough stuff like all of us, but that something about your faith and that joy still like sort of exudes, mate, and it's so good to be around. And I just wanted to ask just briefly, because obviously as well, like, three of us sort of like kids, young children, also I know you'd say the same, like being a Christian doesn't mean you're a perfect dad by any means, but again, like how does faith for you affect the way you kind of parent? And you've got two amazing boys, Noah and Caleb. How does your faith impact that kind of parenting?
I think it's just like, I just want to be the best dad that I can be, and I've always wanted to be that. Like my stepdad, who sadly passed away, so we never got to see the boys. Me stepdad Mike, like he showed me what a dad was, and God is our father, and I want to be the best dad that I can be, and I don't get it right. In fact, if I'm honest, I probably get it wrong more times than I get it right. But what gets me like getting up every morning is just seeing Caleb's face or Noah's face, and when they say, like, you guys will probably echo this, when your child says, "Daddy, I love you," it just, like, there's something about that, and it's the little things. So it's not even, the holidays or stuff. It's stuff like when you've only got a £5, so you get the bus to the museum, and you've been in the museum, right? This is no word of a lie. You've been in the museum to the dinosaur exhibition that's not changed in 37 years, right? And yet, every time I go, it happened with Noah and it happens with Caleb. It's like they've seen this exhibition for the first time, and it just melts your heart, and I just love it. And we go to the museum, and it's literally the same thing, but for Caleb, for Noah, it's like they've been there for the first time. It's amazing.
Well, mate, I've got to say, like, I definitely admire that, and I wish I could be more like you, because my kids just annoy me. They say, like, "Daddy, I want this, I want that, give me this, give me that," and I'm just like, "Oh, shut up."
Do they have that Scouse accent going on
like
as well?
They actually do. Like George, sometimes, like, he brings me something that's broken, and he just goes, "Where?" Like, as in it doesn't work. And like, and for me sometimes, like, being a Christian, like, I just need patience. Like, and God's where I get it from, because like my kids are a bit younger, and obviously kids go through stages, but my kids are just at that stage where they just like when they get to the stage where they can make me a cup of tea or something, I'll be laughing.
That's gold.
But right now I just need to draw all the patience from God that I can get.
You know what, my hope, she's watching, she bakes brownies now. Like, she can bake brownies.
You know what,
and,
I had one, and I had to give her the bake off handshake. What's his name?
Hollywood.
Yeah, I had to give her the Hollywood handshake. I was just like,
it was weird.
I just took a bite, didn't say anything. I was just like,
yeah. It was weird.
They would have meant
stared her down with the proper handshake.
Yeah.
She was
but you could tell her heart was full of the spirit of Paul Hollywood,
full of joy,
being channeled.
Very good, mate. You've got some Pete. You've got some people watching.
There's a lot of love for Pete in the chat. A lot of
love for Pete, and I wanted to throw up particularly Chantel, who's saying, Pete's got me through some tough times. Absolute legend, and he is. And so I love that. Tal saying that her kids make her mud pies, worms and snails and a lot. Do you eat them though, Tal? Like, that would be true.
Like, I think there's going to be some people in the chat who's getting jealous. That's good protein.
You'd have that, would you?
Oh yeah, defo. It's worse than, well, it's better than what I get, which is just like, my kids literally, like, come up to me, and I thought George was giving me a hug the other day. He was just using me as a napkin to wipe the snot off of his face. I was just like, lads,
I've had that move before.
Give me a break.
You feel like it's an affectionate thing. That's great. That's good stuff. Right, well, let's have a look then. Tal's not eating them. She's saying, I'm not Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
So I don't blame you.
Here we are, out in the desert, gonna eat some worms.
Yeah. Right, okay, well, I thought I'd prepare a little bit. Pete, you've not been on before, but you've seen the show, and each week I dispense some wisdom. And I know you kind of look up to me like a father, really, like a father figure, would you say? Like,
sorry to burst your bubble, Tom.
Like someone you really respect.
No, I do respect you.
I'm joking. Oh, his face then, his little face.
You know, the more you say that, the less respect he has for you. You can see it. You can see the respect leaving his body.
Well, anyway, I think Pete's really appreciated Tom's top tips. I know he has, and so I have some wisdom for you, Pete, around work and the work. Look at his face. I really stunned him there. I think he's about to cry because it was just like
because he's just realised how much love he has for you.
He does. It took him by surprise, and that does happen. Pete, look, he's crying. He's crying. I've got him.
That's a man who's realised that there's been a hole in his life and it's been filled by Tom Brown.
Tom Brown. There's a Tom-sized shape in your heart, Pete.
Yes,
maybe you would
and
say.
It's now been filled, and that is the look of a man who's now whole.
It's tears. That is tears of joy. So
tears of
here you go. I've got a Tom's top tip for you. I've got several, in fact, around the workplace. So first of all, I'd like to say, and I'll look straight down the camera for this because I know people like to cut these out of the episode and to listen to it first thing in the morning. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'd maybe do this one last.
Okay, yeah. So
and then stop.
Hey, this is a good work. Thinking about your work, and sometimes work's hard. Sometimes, I won't build it up anymore because it's powerful. It speaks on its own. But don't count the days, but make the days count. Let's cut to Pete. Yep. Sinking in. What? That one's shocked Mikey.
I think my soul just left me body, mate.
Next one. Oh, this is a good one. I came up with this one when I googled it. Here we go. The only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. The only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary.
That's ridiculous.
Pete's taking notes over there.
You know what else comes before work in the dictionary? Apathy.
That comes right at the beginning of the dictionary, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought you were going to go nugget or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's also technically true, but apathy is how I feel towards that sentence.
And then finally, probably my best one, I would say, is, other people might feel familiar with this sentiment, but I think it was original to me. I've said, if you find a job that you love, you will never have to work a day in your life. Does that feel familiar to people? Because I think you might have seen that on a t-shirt somewhere before. But that's original. That is original to me. And look, even my wife has written profound.
She has to say that though, doesn't she?
She honestly, she would say it as it is, and she said profound. Look, Debbie, and I know Debbie shared some of these on social media because she's so touched by them, and she said they just keep on getting better and better. And then she's put those emojis that are crying at the end, like. Yeah,
definitely not sarcastic, and that's heartfelt, life-changing emotion that's going on.
And Tao, who works with me at the grocery, says working with you feels like a life sentence.
That is a sentence and a half.
That might be comment of the night, Tal. You might have just won it there. Comment of the night.
Oh, and that's part of a day job that she has to put up with you, and she has to show that patience.
But normally at this point, Allan would counter with
Allan's
awful advice.
You should ignore.
But because we haven't got Allan, I thought I'd give Mikey a shot at it. So I've got 2 jingles ready for you, Mikey.
Okay.
So I'm covered for all eventualities.
Right.
So first of all, this one.
It's Mikey's Marvellous Meditations.
So we could be going with that.
I reckon we could be going with that one. Yeah,
but
definitely.
If it goes wrong,
which it won't, because everything that I say is super smart.
We'll see. We could be ending up with.
It's Mikey's Moronic Musings.
It's Mikey's Moronic Musings.
Wow.
Mikey, what has what I've shared tonight inspired within you? Would you say?
Inspired is a strong word. But you say if you find a job that you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could just do the second half of that sentence, couldn't you?
Never work a day in your life.
You save yourself a job.
You managed to get a job where people might say you never have to work a day in your life. That's the dream ticket.
But if you never work a day in your life. You wouldn't have to do anything, would you?
What do you think, Pete? Is that marvellous, or is that... Oh, Pete, bear in mind, Pete, we're about to vote on whether you get to be on the wall or not. Is that marvellous or moronic?
I love Mikey, but that's moronic.
Sorry, mate.
Mikey's moronic musings.
I mean, and to be fair, I feel like, you know, in Allan's stead, I have to come in
deliver.
and deliver something completely nonsensical. But I reckon, you know, if...
I think there's wisdom in there, mate. I would have...
Yeah.
Let's move on. We've got just a couple of things to finish with. And first of all,
wait one sec. Allan's with me.
Sorry,
Allan in the chat. Allan's with me.
Allan's put, I'm with Mikey.
If you never work in a day in your life, you never have to work a day in your life. Why bother even finding a job?
Why bother?
Logic, IQ level 200.
Smashing it. And I think what we're going to move on now, and we're going to give Pete a chance to play his cards right and to win some of our wonderful, if I could find the button, here we go, some wonderful
church
merch, mate.
Church merch.
Oh, church merch, mate.
And so he's going to have the chance now to play your cards right. Pete, just show us some of the church merch back there, mate. Go on, what have we got?
I don't know what is. So we've got a guitar.
We've got the guitar, yeah. That big cuddly bear.
Everton beer.
Yeah, that's it.
Is this church merch?
Yeah, that's all. We've got
this
lovely woolly
cool,
hat. You can
it?
put that on if you want. That suits you. That's good, that. And then on the side, you've got Emma's album.
Oh yeah, Emma's album, Influencer.
Very good.
Shout out to Emma.
Shout out to Emma.
That's probably like the only good thing over there, though. Is Emma's album.
And then also there is a PlayStation 3. They're still very popular.
Is
Where's that?
Just under the guitar.
Is Ray's horn over there?
Is Ray's? Can you see Ray's horn anywhere?
Is it
over there? It's still there, isn't it?
I can't see a horn. No. Oh, sorry, Ray's horn.
There we go.
Yeah, do you want to give Ray's horn a toot for us, Pete? Oh my gosh.
And it works.
There we go. So
so hashtag Ray's horn in the chat.
Hashtag Ray's horn.
Thanks, Pete, for blowing Ray's horn. That was unforgettable.
So there's moving on. There is a Mikey, behave yourself. So what we're going to do is play your cards right, but there's been accusations of cheating from Mikey particularly, because if you'll notice, no one has won play your cards right yet. Not a single person has got past the second card, and Mikey feels like something's going on.
And Tom, the thing is, mate, because you know I won the fantasy football, didn't I? And
you bring that up every chance you get.
I don't know if anyone knows this, but I won this year's fantasy football.
We've heard.
We've not mentioned it, have we?
We've several times.
Okay, fine. And the way I do that is I ham it a little bit. You know, I'm the guy with the spreadsheets. I'm the guy with the data. I'm the guy who's looking at the fixtures about 8 weeks in advance.
The guy with no friends.
Yeah, well, that's how I ended up on this podcast anyway. So it's a step up from the very bottom.
Allan said he's not coming back, Mikey, so you might have to be here next week as well at this rate.
Yeah, that's fair. And what I've noticed is that there's been some seriously unlucky people, myself included.
Okay.
On the pod so far, on Wednesday nights at Finnegan's.
Yep. Because you didn't get...
I got destroyed at the first hurdle.
The first hurdle, yeah.
I had a 4, and on the higher or lower for that, Tom turned me a 3.
I turned him a 3, but
the chances of that
is pretty
astronomical.
Yeah.
Now, in an isolated incident, Tom, that'd be fairly normal.
Yeah.
But in another week, someone got a jack, and what did they get turned?
An 8? Was it an ace?
They got turned. Yeah, they got turned an ace.
Are aces high or low?
Aces were high, weren't they?
Oh,
no.
Aces. It was a queen, maybe.
No, it was a queen. Queen that they got turned.
Okay.
Queen. And so again, like only 2 cards that could possibly beat it, and then that got turned over as well. And then,
okay, so Laura said, prepare yourself for some seriously boring maths chat from Mikey.
No.
And I think we've hit that point in the podcast.
No,
Laura,
like,
save us, please.
Like there are people in the chat who are fans of Countdown. Come on.
I don't think there are.
No, it's got channeling my inner Carol Vorderman. Anyway, it's super, super unlikely.
So I'm going to... Mikey's here like as a independent adjudicator. He is going to watch me shuffle these cards. Yeah. And there's no cheating going on here. People were saying Tom's looking at the cards underneath. Just back off, all right? And so they're getting back off. Stop watching. No. Yeah. And so are you happy with the shuffle there, Mikey?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
I'm going to deal 5 cards out to you now. 5 from the top.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, these aren't going to move.
These are not going to move. And so first card, and Pete, I'll let you know that you can swap this one. No. Easy. It's the card from here. All right, it will be that card now.
Yeah. And I'll just take this.
Do you know what?
You saw nothing.
Tell you what. Our first card is a 9. Ooh. So, Pete, you can swap that if you want, or you can keep it. This is the only point that you can do that. So what? Let us know in the chat. Are you thinking you should keep this or swap it? Mikey, let's go to our resident statistician. Would you keep that or swap that? 9. Statistically speaking, you've got 10, Jack, Queen, King, and Ace that can beat that, and then you've got so that's 5 cards that can beat it, and 8 cards. So it's an 8 out of 13 chance that you get this right if you go lower. So should he swap or should he keep it?
I'd gamble, mate. I don't like the odds of that.
What are you thinking? Pete's going to swap it. Okay, all right. So the 9 has gone. The 9's gone. Let's get rid of that.
See you later, 9. No one likes you anyway.
Let's see what happens next.
There you go.
Jack. So great gamble there. So higher or lower on the Jack, people. Come on, higher or lower than the Jack.
See, some people were saying keep, but it was me with the stats, man. You got to trust the mathematics.
Got a good feeling. Are we going higher or lower on the Jack? Let me know. Lower. It seems like lower, Pete. Like what are you feeling?
Lower.
I could go nuts, couldn't I? But I'm not going to. I'm going to go sensible and go lower, please.
Okay.
Do you know what you would? Yeah, everyone's saying lower.
You'd have divided the chat. It
would have gone mad.
You'd have been barred before you even told your story.
Let's have a look. What is it?
Oh, that is a
toughie. So it is lower. It is lower, but it's not much lower. Sorry about that. So, Pete. What are you thinking now? Higher or lower than a 7? Let us know, guys.
So if aces are high,
aces are low.
2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
No, aces are low though.
Oh, aces are low.
Aces are low, definitely.
So there's 6 cards higher.
Okay.
And 6 cards lower.
This
is literally a 50-50.
Nobody has got past this card, Pete. So
you could set a Wednesday night of Finnegan's world record.
People are saying lower, people are saying higher. Honestly, it is a split.
It is a 50-50.
It's a 50-50.
Now, can I just give you some other stats?
No.
Go on.
What we've had so far from the deck, we know that in the deck now, what doesn't exist is we had that 9 from before.
This is why he wins the fantasy football.
Then we also had what was the other card? We had the 9 and the Jack. So we know a 9 and a Jack no longer exist in the deck. So that's 2 possible higher cards that don't exist. So is the chance really 50-50, or is it slightly in the favour of lower?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got. This is the
Angela's watching. It's saying
300 lower. IQ plays that we've come to
Mikey, my eyes have been opened. That is genius. So Pete, what are you going to go for? Higher or lower?
So I don't really do statistics. I don't really. Mikey's baffling me, but I was going to go lower anyway. So
he's going to go lower anyway. Okay, wait for it.
He's got the instinct.
He's going lower.
So 7.
7. Is it higher or lower? He said lower. It's a 4. This is
a world record, unprecedented territory.
This is uncharted. You could have your hands on Ray's horn before you know it.
Hashtag Ray's horn in the chat.
You could do.
It could happen.
So here we go. It's a 4. Are we going?
Tal says, "Am I auditioning for Countdown?" Yes.
Yes, he would.
Get me on the show.
He'd love that role. He would love that role.
Like a Smash Fantasy Football. Have I mentioned that?
No. New world record. Debbie said we are in uncharted territory. Pete, I don't need to be Mikey to tell you that.
No, you don't.
Higher surely is the best option here, but I don't know. It's up to you. I know you're a man who doesn't play by the rules. You're a man who treads his own path.
Now I'm just saying, I had a 4.
Yeah.
And I got turned a 3.
Yeah.
Didn't I?
So,
but perhaps the Lord shall shine down upon Pete.
Pete, lots of people are saying higher. And I think you'd be mad to go anything other than higher. But
you know what? Anna's so lovely. She just says, "Well done so far, Pete."
Oh.
You know what? No matter what happens from here, you've done the best out of everyone. You can be proud of that, even though you won't get any church merch if you go out now.
We will not. Definitely not. Definitely not. And
Okay.
Tao's just asking a question. She's desperate to know the answer to. Mikey, did you win fantasy football?
Funny you should ask. Really. Yeah. I did.
Anyway, Pete. Higher or
Serious
lower
moment.
than a 4? This is hysteria. If you get this, are you going higher or lower than a 4?
So
say it from your heart.
I didn't watch the episode where Mikey got stitched up and he got a 3, but I'm not a gambler. I am a gambling man, but I want this church merch, so I'm going higher.
Okay. Before you confirm that, I just want to tell you that your very own wife, Jess, has said lower. Does that affect? Because I know your own wife is telling you different here. So
she just doesn't want me to bring Ray's horn home.
I don't think anyone wants to take Ray's horn home, to be fair.
Okay, all right, we're going to go with it. We're going to go with, he said,
there you go.
Higher.
Let's have a drum roll, please. What is it?
Oh,
It's higher.
It's another 7?
It's a 7. It's a 7.
Wow.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Here it is. I don't know what you're going to do there. 7. People are in shock on the chat. People are in shock. Kyle's just laughing at you.
I've witnessed the birth of 3 of my kids, yet this is the most tense I've ever felt.
Yeah. Yep. Anne Lovely is just giving you a clap and a thumbs up. She's such a beautiful, supportive person, Anne.
Anne is rooting for you, Pete.
Anne is rooting for you. Debbie's saying the suspense is killing me.
Yeah.
So, Pete, can people let us know quickly, higher or lower on a 7? And this is, Mikey, you going to give us any kind of wisdom there from the stats?
Well, we've seen quite a few cards that have been higher, but then we've also seen the 4 now, which is 1 lower. But the chances, mate, slightly in favour of lower.
Okay.
Based on cards that are left in the deck, but
it's looking 50-50 again.
Your instincts have done you well so far, and I'd just go with them now. Stats out the window.
Yeah. Lots of people saying higher. I'd probably say higher is more. Ray saying higher for the horn. Kyle saying take your time, Pete. Don't let them rush you.
Gonna have to pressure you, Pete.
We are going to have to pressure you, Pete. Do you want to go?
I'm gonna go
higher or lower.
I'm gonna go lower, please, Jeff.
Lower.
Oh,
lower.
There you go, Tom.
Is it lower than a 7?
Statistically, lower's the right thing to go for.
Okay. What's he got?
Oh, pain.
I'll have to put me up.
Pete, put the hat. Please don't touch any of the merch again. Put everything back. Has Ray's horn gone back in the prizes?
Yeah. I won't
But you
sneak
know
it
what?
out.
Let's just get some claps in the chat for Pete, because
Pete's
claps. Gone further than anyone.
Well done, Pete. Good lad.
Thanks very much.
Mate,
Mate, I'm so proud of you. You know, Tom, who's like a father to you, is really proud of you. Are you going to cry again, Pete?
Yeah. I was one away. I nearly had Ray's horn.
No one likes to see that. Let's see what the chat's saying. Anne, bless her, is just crying emojis. Jess, your lovely wife, is just saying loser. She's actually not been watching the programme. She's just hurling abuse at you.
Yeah. And the stranger who you've never met is showering you in love and affection, and your wife is just on loser.
Tao saying it's not even Tom Brown now, it's Tim Brown.
Tim Brown.
Oh dear.
Oh gosh.
Oh dear. And Janet said quite rightly, what happened? Pete always wins. That is the thing. Pete always wins in churches. We have a quiz, and that's where the nickname Allan came up with last week of Sneaky Pete.
Or if
because
there's like a talent
win.
show or anything like that.
Always wins, always smashes
Pete always
it.
smashes it, doesn't he?
Anyway, we're gutted for you, Pete. Hope saying she hoped you'd been the first there, mate, but it's not to be. But
there's still another chance for him to win, isn't there?
There's still another, and I would say this is a way better prize than any of the things in church merch, okay?
Because you know what you could do, Pete.
You know what you could do.
You know what you could do.
Get him on the wall, lad.
Get him on the wall, lad. So that is what you could do, Pete. If you tell a story that is wall-worthy, I'm going to put your name on the wall at Finnegan's. And then you remember for life. You remember for life. It means you can come occasionally. On special occasions, you're welcome to come to Finnegan's.
There's only a select group of people
who
have been deemed elite enough to be immortalised on the Wednesday night at Finnegan's Wall. And you
Mikey,
could be one of them, Pete.
And Mikey is up there.
Because I won the fantasy football, yeah.
I'm up there. Emma's up there. Danny Latham's up there. Alan's up there.
Yeah.
So this is a select group of people. But sadly, Pete, if the story's no good...
Yeah.
And even though everyone else has got up there before, if it's no good, then you will, unfortunately,
bad, lad.
Be barred, lad.
So I'll have to throw you out.
We literally will pick you up and throw you.
That won't be hard though. You've seen the size of them. No, it's good. But so just to say, we were talking about what story Pete was going to say, and Pete does have another story where he got arrested. But I think Dan stole that thunder.
Danny did the story of it, and then Emma also.
Talked about an encounter with the police, and I just don't think it's a great look.
No.
For people at Wednesday night at Finnegan's, if you just get people on who have dodgy encounters with the police, you got to vary your guests up.
We need to. So Pete, have you got a story in mind?
I have.
Okay. We'll hand over to you, Pete, and
good luck, Pete.
Good luck, mate. We're rooting for you.
So I'm hoping that this gets me on the wall. So
we'll see.
People that maybe don't know me, I'm married, and I've been married for 10 years in September. And my wife says that she hates surprises. However, she is the most sneakiest person on this planet.
Wow.
And I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm going to tell you a story about how sneaky she actually is.
Hit us with it.
So, as people know, I'm a bit of a showman. I do like a good sing-song. I do like to be the centre of attention.
Not one to shy away.
And we went out. She goes, "Oh, do you want to go out?" And I was like, "Yeah, what do you want to do?" And we go out to town, have a few drinks, maybe go to karaoke and stuff. So I was like, "Oh yeah, sound." So we went to this pub in Liverpool called the Central Pub, and they had a karaoke on, and it was being filmed for what we were told was a promotional for the Central Pub to get their name out there, and basically in order you could win Nando's vouchers, and Jess loves
just got
Nando's,
serious.
so she was like, "You're getting up and you're singing because I want the Nando's voucher." So I was like, "Sound," and they were like, "You can do." We really want to do Robbie Williams songs, so what, you know? So I was like, "Oh, can I do like She's the One?" And Jess is like, "That's a bit soppy, innit? Why don't you do something that's going to get like the crowd going?"
Is Jess not one to be serenaded then?
No.
They say romance is dead.
No, I tried to be romantic, and Jess is like, "No." But basically...
Enough of that, Pete.
Yeah.
No.
So, we're there, and she's like, "Try and do something that's going to get the crowd involved." So I go, "What about Let Me Entertain You?"
Classic.
Obviously classic.
Wow.
So they're like, "Yeah, let's do that."
A bold choice.
So
I mean,
I'm there.
It's a lot of performance, that, doesn't it?
It
Yeah.
takes a lot of energy. And
A
you're literally
lot
saying it, like, "Let me entertain you." Like, and if you get up and then don't entertain people,
You're
you're going to look like a mug, aren't you?
You're setting yourself up there.
So, yeah.
You are setting yourself up to fail, aren't you, to be
Yeah.
fair? So there I am. I've got the crowd in the palm of my hand. I'm giving it. I'm like buzzing. The crowd's lapping it up. Mm-hmm. And then the guy goes, "You've won a Nando's voucher." And then I'm like, "Yes." And then he goes, I need you to sign this form because obviously it's a promotional video. If it gets put out there, we need your permission.
Yeah.
So I go, signed. Thought nothing of it. Couple of weeks later, Jess messages me and says, oh, I've won. You'll never guess what? I've won tickets. I was like, tickets to what? To be in the crowd at Michael McIntyre's big show, all expenses paid, down in London.
Wow.
So I'm like, wow, this is amazing. How'd you do that? She went, oh, it was just a thing on Facebook and got picked out. So thought nothing of it, and I'm like, oh, brilliant. Love Michael McIntyre.
Hang on a second, Pete, because...
I mean, do you really like him?
Do the head. Do the...
They say traffic's a nightmare.
That's good, that is good.
So anyway, back to the story about how Peter sold his soul for a Nando's voucher.
Yeah.
So we go down to London, we get put up in this dead posh hotel, we take a walk around and we go to the Palladium, and we're literally on the second to front row.
Nice.
Sitting there, Liam Payne's performing, there's got to be Robbie Williams coming out for Robbie Oakey, all sorts going on. And Michael McIntyre says, right, so now we're recording the section for our Robbie Oakey. And he's talking to people, and then he stood behind me, and he goes and says to me, hi. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? And he's like, do you like karaoke? I was like, yeah. He went, have you done any recently? I was like, yeah, 2 weeks ago. I was singing, and he went, what were you singing? I went, oh, it was Robbie Williams, Let Me Entertain You. And he looked at me like, you even know the song? And I was like, yeah. And he went, and where was that? I went, in the pub. And he went, this pub, and put the pub on the big screen. And I just went, oh no.
Now, and we've got to say, like, we've seen this clip before, and for those of you watching at home, this is priceless. And when you're watching this in a minute, just look at Pete's face when he says the words, oh no.
Shall we stick it on?
It is gold.
Shall we stick it on?
Shall we
stick it on?
Let's go.
Have a look at
When's
this.
the last time you sang a bit of karaoke?
About 2 weeks ago.
Oh, not 2 weeks. Where are you from?
Liverpool.
So, what were you singing?
Let Me Entertain You by Robbie
Oh,
Williams.
you know the exact song?
Yeah.
And where were you singing that?
In the pub.
In a pub?
Yeah.
Was it this pub?
Yes. Oh
no. We were recording you secretly singing karaoke. We will be playing that footage to the audience. Before I do, it's very good
That's
to
amazing.
compare your performance to the originals. So I was wondering who might be best at not only leading us into your performance but also judging it than the actual Robbie Williams. Please welcome Robbie Williams!
I love it. That's so good.
The face of a man who's been truly
that we
stitched
must
up.
look for in this is when you're singing, you see, you only have really one hand, don't you, to express yourself throughout the performance. And
He's an expressive guy.
did you express yourself.
I love it.
So let's see how you fared. Singing, Let Me Entertain You. It is Robbie Williams featuring Peter. Come on,
Peter.
Let me entertain you.
That's not bad.
That's not... It's okay. Yeah,
That's too
good job.
short for you to die, so grab
Oh,
yourself
hang on.
an alibi. Heaven knows you mother lie. Won't share. Separate the wrongs. Come and sing a different song. Kettle's on, so don't belong. Won't share. So come on, let me entertain you.
I don't know if I performed that song like I've just been given a parking ticket.
So angry about it.
Cracking, very special.
I love it. Fantastic. Pete, what was that like, mate? That was impressive.
Yeah, when he said, was it this pub by any chance? And you just, oh no.
Oh no. So you know what? There's some love here for you. And this is Laura saying, Pete, you're better than Williams for sure.
I've got to say, like,
wow.
Robbie Williams could have taken a lesson from you there, Pete, in terms of the energy he was given to that.
Mate, give us the hands again. Show us those arms.
Oh, yeah.
It was just one though.
Yeah. Pete, how does it feel watching that back, like now in hindsight?
It's mental, you know. It's like what's funny is that's being viewed millions of times, because obviously Michael McIntyre's big show's massive.
Yeah.
And when this went out, everyone was screaming, "Oh, this is all staged! This is all staged!" And loads of people were like, "If you think the lad from Liverpool had a clue what was going on, then yous are all mental." He is genuinely some lady in Norway, this is how mad it is, a lady in Norway was going, "I'm from Norway and I know that this lad had no clue what was going on." You can tell he's 100% genuine. People who had never met in my life were like saying how genuine I was and how entertained they were by it. And yeah, Jess absolutely stitched me up something rotten, but it was one of the best experiences and I'll never forget it. So shout out to Jess. So that is my story. So I got stitched up by my wife.
I think that's a story we can all share.
I've known Pete for years, and I know that he doesn't even need the potential promise, not even like an actual promise of a Nando's voucher, a potential promise of a Nando's voucher to get up and give it some beans at a karaoke. Pete would do that for free all day, every day. You know,
and we've got to our regulars who are about to decide, that's something we've got to remember. Like, is that the kind of energy we want in Finnegan's? And I know he's getting my vote, but it's not just down to us, Mikey. You're on the wall, so you get a say.
Yeah.
Klopp gets a say. I mean, let's see. So if we could have your votes, please, let us know. Is Pete's...
Is it going to be?
Is it going to be? Is it going to be? Put him on
Get
the
him
wall.
on the wall,
Get him
lad.
on the wall.
Get him on the wall,
Or instead...
lads.
You're bad, lad.
And we're going to bar him, which feels like that would be pretty brutal at this point. But do you know what?
It would, but
I will go with...
We leave it to the people.
It's a democracy.
Decide.
Finnegan's is a democracy. Let's see what's coming in then.
It is.
So let's see what everyone's saying. Okay, Anne Gerard and Anne tonight. It's been lovely having you on the show, but
Anne's
we
been
know
your
she's
biggest
a
fan.
very positive lady tonight. Pete should definitely go on the wall. Ray saying verification on the wall.
On the wall, lads.
Tao is really interested to know whether you actually got your Nando's voucher. Pete, did you get your Nando's voucher? He's just looking at the votes. Did you get your Nando's voucher?
Yeah. It was a genuine Nando's voucher. I didn't get it. Jess got the Nando's voucher.
Jess got it. You were the one who did the singing.
She stitched you up and she got a free Nando's voucher out of it.
Yeah. Oh, Jess.
That is sneaky.
That is sneaky. Sneaky Jess. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. You can hire him for Finnegan's Christmas party. That's what Jess is saying. I like what you're thinking. On the wall. Laura
he costs
Ferguson.
one Nando's voucher.
Put him on the wall. Put him on the wall. Linda's watching. Mummy Finnegan says, get him on the wall, lads.
Yes.
Very good. In fact, Jess, wow. Even Tao saying, get Jess on the wall.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, she did orchestrate like the puppet master, like an evil puppet master in the back, like a criminal mastermind.
2 for 1 though. We can't do 2 for 1. Sorry, Jess. That may sound heartless, but John Brazier.
That's my father-in-law.
Yeah.
Is it father-in-law? John, tell us the truth. What's it like having Pete as a son-in-law? Pete's looking super nervous. But John, if you could let us know. And do you know what? Like we said before, safe place. Just speak freely.
Yeah.
We asked that for Mikey, and Anne gave you some positive feedback. So let's see what John's going to say for Pete. But
I've got to say, Pete, I think it's going pretty well for you.
I think it's going very well. Let's see where we're going to end up.
If you need a kids
Get him on the wall, lad.
You know where to go. And you know what? Not even just the kids entertained. I was thoroughly entertained.
I was entertained. All right, I've got the pen. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Let's get him on the wall, lads.
On the wall, lads. Where shall I put him? I'll put him, Pete. I'm going to put you up here next to me, mate. Because I love that. Pete. Oh, I feel like my handwriting's being judged. There it is.
Can I just guess? Can we just go to Pete? Pete, I want your initial reaction, initial thoughts. How does it feel knowing that you've been immortalised on the Wednesday night of Finnegan's Wall? Special moment, obviously.
Speechless.
Emotional.
Yeah.
Honest, it was tough because everyone else was actually on the wall, and it was whether they'd stay on the wall, so it was harder just getting on the wall.
You were the first outsider, and
no, he wasn't.
Well, you went
I'm
outside.
right here, lads. I might not forget.
It felt like you'd always been here, though, Mikey.
Oh, that's a good save.
Yeah,
That's a
thank
good
you.
save.
Thank you.
Fair enough. I'll give you that one.
Very
But,
good. Well, we are Pete. You're on the wall, mate. We are
Immortalised.
and mate, you've been a great guest. We appreciate
Thank you
you
very much.
stepping in at
Legend.
last minute, coming in and joining
Yeah.
us for the evening at Finnegan's. Mikey, you've been a fantastic co-host. Will you come back
mate.
and do this again sometime?
Yeah, of course, mate. It was an absolute pleasure. It was brilliant. And I've got to say, just again before we finish, to the people at home, Tom and Allan, I reckon they do a cracking job setting all of this up, and the setup that they've got in here, it does take a lot of work, and I know that we all have a massive laugh together, but like there is a way that you guys can give back, and they don't even ask for money. They do this all for free. One of the ways that you guys can give back, if you can just hit that like button and you can hit the share button as well, just so that these things can just reach as many people as possible. I reckon that'd be awesome, because these guys, like the message that they're doing and the joy that they're sharing just deserves to hit as many people as possible. So if you can do that right now, that'd be amazing.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Thanks, Mikey. Oh, it's really
mate,
appreciated.
You deserve it. You're great.
And people are loving that. In fact, Anne's saying we could. Anne's saying you could have Pete for the ladies' night at church. I mean, I don't know.
I don't think the ladies could handle that.
Pete, would you do
fair.
a ladies' night? Let me entertain you, Robbie Williams.
It only cost you one Nando's voucher.
One Nando's voucher.
But you'd have to speak to me manager.
He's a cheap date, Pete.
He is.
You'd have to speak to me manager though.
I assume that's yes.
Yeah.
She happens to be my wife. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I feel like we should take some commission for setting this up. What's our fee? More than Nando's.
Well, I reckon we could just go for one of the sides. Like our fee could be like the corn on the cob,
Or
that you
sweet
get.
potato mash.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Great.
The Peronaise, bit of Peronaise.
And we'll
It's
leave.
a small fee.
We're going to leave the last word to John Brazier, father-in-law, who said he's a boss lad and a great dad.
Finishing on the positivity. That's wholesome content.
Thank you.
Here at Finnegan's.
All that's left,
Oh yes.
Mikey, I'm going to bestow this honour on myself tonight, because
You just absolutely mugged me off with that.
Alan's away and I've always wanted to do this.
You've always wanted to ring Allan's bell. Is what you're saying.
I don't think we can have Mikey back now. No, Mikey, I'm going to let you do the honours.
No, I'm going to let you. I don't want to ring Allan's bell. You can ring Allan's bell.
All right.
Cheers, everyone.
Last orders. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Do what Mikey said. Give us a share, give us a follow, help us
Yeah,
get the word
definitely.
out about Finnegan's, and we're going to be Finnegans.
I'm going to Finnegan in a minute.
And we're going to be back on next Wednesday for more of this nonsense. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thanks for joining us, and we will see you soon. Goodbye.